April 2016, I went back to Europe to check out a less traveled part of the continent, Eastern Europe. I booked the Eastern Road with Contiki, whom I did the European Discovery trip 6 months earlier. I had an idea of what to expect on this trip from the Contiki experience, but I didn't know what people I would meet or things I would experience and remember for the rest of my life. This is the Eastern Road. Prior to me arriving in Berlin, which was the start of this Contiki tour, I decided to begin my European trip where I had ended my last European trip in Paris. So I flew from Toronto to Paris and spent a couple of days in Paris. So I took the RER-B line for 10 euros, and that gets you from the Charles de Gaulle International Airport to the Gare du Nord train station, which is literally the best way to get to the heart of Paris. It's about a 30-minute train ride, and once I arrived, I made my way to my very first hostel. So I'd never stayed at a hostel before. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and checked out a couple places on hostelworld.com, and this was literally the second one on the list, and it was in a great location. It was literally 10 minutes away from the train station. It was literally like a less than 5-minute walk away from the Sacre Coeur. Very accessible to the metro station. There's a grocery store right next door. There's a bar which is owned by the same owners of the hostel right next door. There's quite a few small little restaurants and souvenir shops and all that right in the immediate area. It's a great area, and yeah, the hostel I stayed at was really good. So after checking out my hostel, I decided to go out and check out the Sacre Coeur. So I walked up to the steps, and it was an absolutely beautiful sight, and I decided to get a nice baguette sandwich overlooking the magnificent church, and then made my way up all the steps of the Sacre Coeur to check out the church more in detail. And once you make your way up all the steps, and I encourage you guys to walk up all these steps. There's a funicular that you can do as well, but it's just better, you know, to walk up. And once you walk up, the view of Paris is absolutely amazing. The only kind of downside is you can't see the Eiffel Tower because there's trees and it's kind of more around the corner. But regardless of that, the view of Paris is absolutely amazing. After checking out the Sacre Coeur, there is an artist square that's a couple minutes walk away from the church there, and you can have your, someone can draw you, sketch you. There's lots of paintings, lots of cafes and restaurants and that. It's just great places to chill out. So I walked around there for a while and checked things out. one good thing about being in Paris in April is already really warm there, so spring has sprung. And heading back down from the Sacre Coeur, I just decided to take a look at all the, the flowers that were in bloom and just relax. I hung out by a carousel. There's like a carousel on the base of the Sacre Coeur there, and just relaxed for the rest of the day. My first day back in Paris was absolutely amazing. Ever since I left Paris in October of 2016, I've always wanted to go back, and I just couldn't believe that 6 months later, I would be back in Paris. And that's the great thing about traveling, is that you never know what city you're gonna go back to, what city you're gonna check out next. And I was looking forward to spending 2 full days in Paris. The first day back in Paris was great, nice and relaxing, and the second day I'm going back into more of the heart of Paris, checking out the Eiffel Tower again, and getting some really, really great shots of the Eiffel Tower, and doing a river cruise at night. And seeing the Eiffel Tower during the day is impressive. Seeing the Eiffel Tower at night is absolutely amazing, and you'll see that video next.